Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi, Jamie. How you doing? Good evening to you. I want to see how everybody's doing tonight. I didn't broadcast last night. I took Sadie to get her stitches out, and things were just a little hectic, but everything's fine. I'll give an update on that here in a little bit. But anyway, we're going to talk about quite a bit of things. Let's see who all shows up this evening. Or is there a big event going on tonight I don't know about? But I don't know. It could be. Ha ha. Hi, Bubba. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Mike 1176. So, uh, did you hear about the Dandelion probe? How many of y'all heard about the Pentagon putting out information on an alien dandelion probe? Isn't that something? And what's the other thing we're going to talk about tonight? Ghosts in the machine. I was going to put in there who or when you least expect. Biden's taking a picture of me, taking a selfie of me on my thumbnail. Ha ha. He thinks we're buddy buddy, but you never know who's a ghost in the machine. And then the other thing is another resident. What do I mean by that? See if anybody guesses it in chats before I get to it. Let's see. I welcome people as we come in. Well, we got a lot of people coming. A lot of people showing up. Hi, John. Hi, Quilt. Mr. Kibler, how are you? Linda. White Lightning, happy days. B-Dog. Hi, Jamie. How you doing? Let's see. Everybody's rolling in. If I leave anybody out when they come in and after I start going off on a subject, I apologize. I try to get to everybody that I can. Slow Burn One, how you doing? Welcome aboard. It's the first time I've seen you, unless you got here and I forgot, which happens sometimes. But anyway, you know something's fishy when the Pentagon puts out stuff. The big talk the last couple of days was about that drone that was involved with the Russian jet fighter, and the Pentagon put out some footage. I don't know if you all got to see that or not, what the Pentagon put out. And everybody can make up their own minds about it. The bottom line is that it was near some sensitive areas in Crimea with state-of-the-art SPY systems. Let me see what the name of that system was. I'll have to check that out. Let me see. Gorgon's Eye. Gorgon's Eye. Now, that's a new one on me. Have you all ever heard that one before? Gorgon's Eye. And that is supposed to be the most advanced surveillance equipment you can get that the U.S. has. And it looks like there's going to be a race to recover it from the Black Sea. But the Pentagon has said that they don't expect that they'll be able to recover it. They're acting rather nonchalant. That's right, B-Dog. The drone film itself getting gas cut on it. And I was watching, I was dealing with a Telegram connection that before the, hi, Debbie. Before the footage came out, it was reported that there were several passes made, and they were dumping fuel on purpose to cloud its ability to see and also to bring it down if they could. So that's what they were doing. They were dumping fuel on, and others were saying that too. After they dumped the fuel on there, one of the jets was going to get in front of it and light up the afterburners and roast the drone. So I don't know what kind of talk that is, but I do know that there's two competing versions of film out, but they both come to the conclusion that the jets were harassing the drone and that they did dump fuel or some manner of liquid substance on it, and that the prop was damaged. So anyway, Gorgon's Eye is what they're going to be after. Let's see here. Then you have a statement from Lindsey Graham, of course. A lot of you have heard that. And he's saying to shoot down Russian jets that they're having a problem with. Hi, Cheryl. Hi, Mary. And there's been a response made to that by the Russian ambassador in Washington. Said an attack on a Russian plane in neutral space will be a declaration of war. So it's not saying maybe or be careful that you don't, they're saying it will be. Attack it in neutral space. He goes on to say, quote, intentionally attacking a Russian aircraft in neutral space is not just a crime under international law, but also an open declaration of war against the largest nuclear power. Anatoly Antonov warned an armed clash between Russia and the United States would radically be different from the proxy war the Americans are waging remotely against Ukraine, against Russia in Ukraine. So this reporter goes on to say, is the Capitol ready to expose American citizens and the international community to the risk of all-out nuclear war? Oh, this is the ambassador. He says, answer, dear Senator. He's talking to Lindsey Graham. Are you willing to open up the Capitol and all your citizens to the risk of nuclear war? This is how the ambassador responded to threats of a number of American parliamentarians, including, in particular, Senator Lindsey Graham, to shoot down Russian aircraft in international space if they come close to U.S. military equipment. So an unmanned drone does not carry the same weight as a piloted craft. It's considered military equipment. But anyway, so yeah, there's nuances to the laws of war. That's right. He was with no name at UK. He was with no name in Syria. I mean, he met with ISIS, right? Oh, by the way, I had one of my videos taken down, and I am walking on eggshells. If anything happens again, I'll be gone for a week, if not altogether. So I have to be very careful. And I do ask that you all be very careful. But I tell you, my video that got taken down, I could review it on Bumble, right? And it's the one that says Trump's fault. And it's got a thumbnail on it that has Chuck Schumer and Tucker Carlson on it. And it says, at least we both hate Trump. So anyway, I reviewed it to see what's the issue here. Should I appeal it? But they said that I made claims about a certain event in 2020, which I didn't do. So that's what got my other channel completely demolished. So I reviewed it, and that's the one I had the two memes from 9/11, right? The two memes that had been around for a while. That's where I had the short clip of Joan Rivers. Okay, she was talking about Moose Shell. Okay, I had a report on the African reporter who was fired from the press room at the White House and without a job. I reported on the war in Ethiopia, Tigray War, where a lot of UKR weapons are supposedly have gone, where 600,000 people died and nobody reported. I also talked about Treehouse Antifa, Oh, I meant to say antifizzle. See, that might get me in trouble. And how I Googled Atlanta antifizzle, and the whole Google screen was blank. There was no results. So I was just writing down what could it have been that got them, what got them to just take it down. I've got some other notes here that Fauci had 9 million reasons to make sure things got to CHYNA, certain things. I mentioned Georgie Porgy Soriosio. So yeah, that was kind of a touchy video, but hey, it's happening. Things are happening. We got to talk about it, right? So anyway, it's gone. It's available on Bumble. So we're going to see what happens with this touch and go situation with Russia. And Russia released a video of the fighter alongside the downed Reaper that's in the air. It's translation error. The Reaper's not down, it's flying in the air. Interestingly, the MQ-9 was equipped with a capital letters very advanced surveillance system. I got that wrong. It's called the Gorgon Stare. The Gorgon Stare is the advanced surveillance system that's on that drone. And the video confirms it. China, Russia, and Iran have had problems in this area where the U.S. actually has a significant advantage, that is, in surveillance. If Russia recovers the remains of this surveillance system, it could be very interesting for study. Recall that the U.S. previously refused to supply the MQ-9 to Ukraine for fear that it would be shot down and the Russians would study it. Not only did this end up happening, but the downed aircraft was carrying one of NATO's most advanced surveillance systems. So, and as I said, the Pentagon put out a report that they don't feel that they can recover it. So I don't know if that's a feint, if they're going to still try to recover it, but are going to make the Russians seem like they're not in a hurry. We'll see, but there are going to be people going after it. And as far as our northern neighbors go with Russia, let me make sure I still got a good signal here. They have made a statement openly that regime change in Russia, regime change in Moscow, quote, definitely the goal, says Canadian Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly. So Canada bans Russian steel and aluminum imports as part of a sanctions regime. And the Foreign Affairs Minister raises the possibility of regime change. So that's some pretty strong talk. And what happens with Moscow, Iran, and China? How do they respond to all this stuff? War tensions rise as Russia teams up with China and Iran for joint military drills. 3 of the top United States international adversaries have partnered to perform military exercises in the Middle East, according to a statement by China. So, yeah, things are getting cranked up as far as tensions. Let me just look through the chats here. And I want to thank Pamela. I didn't get to go on last night, and I want to make sure I thanked her for helping me out on the Buy Me a Coffee. Let's see. And everybody else, Cameraman and Wolfpack. And I'll put the list up. And the Godfather, Aaron, and Robin, and Wanda's helped. A lot of people. A lot of people. And Chess Mary's helped. Let's see. Anyway, let me see. Hi, John. Hi, Donna. How are you doing? You didn't miss too much, not yet, but we can always go back to the beginning, the 15-minute back after it's all over. We're talking international affairs, and which, of course, are going to affect us very soon. Now, the other thing that came out, I don't know how I can, especially after I got up and looked at my emails bright and early in the morning, like 6 a.m., your video's been removed. And they do it, I guess, 3 or 4 in the morning. And I think that's because some people overseas they use to review them. And I don't know if that has anything to do with protecting staff from any kind of legal action because it's happening outside the country. But it's a multinational business, of course. But anyway, I'm leery about what I can put up, but I saw a very interesting report being given to officials in Kari Lake State, right? The initials AZ. So it's all on record. We know. Kari Lake said herself that she was approached at her house by someone who was trying to bribe her and told her anything she wanted. Just name her price. Just stay out of politics till 2024, not forever, just till 2024. Hold on while I get my coffee. Well, this testimony and forensic report on forensic examination of documents such as deeds of trust, mortgages, concerning money laundering, and very high officials also included the talk of an attempt, and I'll just say an attempt, I won't say the other word, on Kari Lake's daughter, as in the same kind of successful attempt that was made on JFK, if you know what I mean. Very dramatic. And I don't know, I'm going to see if I can see, I can't even, if I posted a link to it, the AI can get you there. So I'm just telling everybody to buckle up for that information to find its way into the mainstream media. That certain people had a mark put on them that's kind of like when you go to target practice, and that these fake deeds, fake mortgages, fake signatures, fake loans, that it's all been documented forensically, and it's already been presented to members on the record to members of the state legislature in AZ. So that's going to be coming out, folks, and that's going to be big as far as waking people up. And I know they can't stop it from getting around in that state. RM Hornet, that's right. It's funny. Media's no more talking about J6, talking about banks and UFOs. Now, I saw an article, I didn't get into it, report that Israel somehow is supposed to be responsible for the SBV bank failure. That's the story that's going around now. But nobody's going to talk about how a lot of these banks were involved in giving money to B is one letter, L is the other, and the other one is M. Okay? And nobody's going to talk about how that money goes straight to the D and C. Nobody's going to talk about how much money went to other causes like Antifizzle. And when you call a certain number or go on a certain website for antifizzle, you end up at the White House. Okay, so that stuff's going to be coming out. But the banks gave $74 billion to the first one I said, with a B and starts with B and ends with a M and has an L in the middle. 74 billion. If you think about that, Biden's last package to Ukraine was 36 billion. So this is double is what the banks gave. But now I guess I don't know what the basis is for the claims that Israel caused the and Netanyahu caused the collapse. I don't know, but $74 billion is a lot of money. And they also don't talk about how these banks submitted over 150 suspicious activities reports concerning the Bidens. Now, I believe that is only Hunter and Joe. But another report came out that there are 6 to 7 Biden family members currently under scrutiny for possible criminal conduct. Now, we know there's James Biden. We know there's Joe Biden. We know there's Hunter Biden. Well, somebody's thrown the sister in the mix. And I think her name is Janice or Jane or something like that, Biden. So that's 4 we know of. And there's a possible 2 or 3 more. Family affair. James, yeah, Biden's what do you call it? Sister-in-law and his sister. They say 6 or 7 Biden family members. Hi, Joy. How are you? Hi, Vicky. So anyway, there's going to be a lot of stuff bubbling on the surface, and Trump is really keeping up with the drum beats. Dan Scavino, I said to keep an eye on him. And isn't it funny how in just the other program we were talking, I was talking about who were the silent thieves. And I referred to the last sentence in that post from 17 that had the date 1913. And the broadcast prior to that, I discussed the 2 amendments to the Constitution that were passed in 1913, which was federal income tax and taking power away from state legislators to appoint senators and put it to a straight popular election. So, and I was saying, now, isn't that something? Now, we were just talking about 1913, those amendments, and then you have the silent thieves. Who are the silent thieves? And then the date being 1913. Well, I also said that the 16th Amendment prior to that, the federal government got its money from tariffs and not taxing individual people, and that the notion of taxing individuals for any source of they get money from anywhere, any amount, was contrary to the spirit of the main document, which is the Constitution. It created a tyranny and opened the door to what I said. What is the worst scenario they can do? That's what they'll do. You read any law and imagine in your mind what's the worst thing they can get away with. Eventually, that's what it will become. So if that amendment says they can tax you for income from any source to any amount, the worst they can do is tax you for every daggone thing you get 100%. That's the worst, right? Well, that's where we're going. That's where we're heading. But Dan Scavino released a video of DJT when he was giving a discussion about Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson, who prior to the Civil War destroyed the central bank and ran them out of the USA. He called their money rag money. And that lasted for decades when he kicked the central banks out. And he was a populist. And he went back to tariffs. And Trump said, it's time. It's time to go back to tariffs. And Dan Scavino posted that. And I said, well, I was just talking about that the other day. So, yeah, we're going to see some kind of change. Hi, Cosette, how are you? It's time. That's what I was going to put in the thumbnail too. But then I heard about this. Here we got all this stuff going, all this talk about the Bidens, all this talk about Kari Lake's situation, and all that Sinaloa cartel, real tangible stuff. Boom. We get a report from the Pentagon that there could be a mothership sending out dandelion drones to come down and spy on the Earth, right? Out of the blue. Because that, you got to put a one for an I, Cosette, in a word like that. K-I-L, you know. Okay, put letter numbers for vowels on words that Utizel doesn't like, and that's one word they don't like. K-I-L-L. Okay. So next time, just put a 1 instead of an I. And we use 4 for A's, okay? 0 for O's, and so on. Well, do you not find if you put words like that in, honey? I got to take them down. Yes, when Lincoln was president, we had greenbacks, John says. Thank you, Cosette. Oh, my chat's froze up. Wait a second. That happens now and then. That's right, Hamilton wanted a central bank. Just looking through here. So anyway, so now, just like was mentioned earlier in the chats, that we get a distraction. And part of my thumbnail's Ghost in the Machine. Well, we've got people that are ghosting in the machine too. They're called black hats, okay? But we got white hats that have been ghosting there longer than the black hats. But that's when you get these well-coordinated messages sent out concerning dandelion drones. And most all y'all in the chats know what a dandelion is. When it blooms, you pick it up. It's got all these little fuzzies on it. You blow on it, and they all float away. And so it gets this thing in people's minds. Oh, my God, there's going to be thousands of these drones from outer space spying on us, or who knows what they're going to do. Well, I've always said that I'm not saying they're in life out there somewhere, okay? But I look at things from a biblical perspective, because you let go of that plank in the ocean. You hang on to your principles and your belief like if you're in a stormy sea and you've got one plank to hang on to. That's what somebody said a long time ago. Don't let go of that plank. You're in a stormy sea. It's keeping you afloat. And if you're going to let go of your upbringing, your beliefs in the Bible and in God, if you let go of that plank, you'll never get a night's sleep, you know. dandelion drone, whatever they throw at you to scare you, okay? There's nothing new under the sun. I said it in many broadcasts in the past. I look at things from a biblical perspective. If there's life in the outer reaches, that's up to God. Okay? But I know what's been told to us in the good book, what's been told to us in Revelations, what Christ has told us to worry about, and he didn't mention anything about dandelion drones or people coming from outer space. Okay? And if anybody does pay attention to the 17th letter, they were asked that. If there were aliens coming, if that was going to happen. The answer was no. And the next statement was, how close is the nearest star? Okay. You can look that up. It's light years, many, many, very, very, very far away. So, we worry about the problems that we can do something about. We worry about the problems that are tangible and real, not flights of fancy, okay, or fear-mongering, or look here and not there, not bright, shiny things like our friend General Flynn told us to look out for the bright, shiny things. Don't worry about that. And as one of the very recent posts said, focus, and then in capital letters, focus. We focus on what's going on. Kari Lake has been going through HE double hockey sticks. We now know that her own daughter was put in jeopardy. We know she's got strangers coming up, knocking on her door saying, hey, we'll give you anything you want. What happens when they tell you what's going to happen if you don't do what they say? They already showed up to say what they'll do if she does what they say. They'll give her anything she wants. What happens when the message tries to come across? Here's what's going to happen if you don't do what we say. So those are the things we've got. We're dealing with. I've talked about in the past the cartels that are vicious, brutal, and that is why Mr. T was talking about carpet, B-O-M-B, carpet. The level of atrocities and heinous things that certain groups have done under the laws of war, trials aren't necessary. The mad dog doctrine that I talked about with Ronald Reagan when he talked about Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi, when he told him he considered Muammar Gaddafi to be a mad dog of the Middle East, Gaddafi straightened out right away because he knew what that meant. It meant it wasn't going to be politics and games and footsies. It meant he was subject to be wiped out. So anyway, that's the same way that Trump views the cartels. And he said one of the first things he was going to do is destroy them. But my point is, that is part of the group of opponents that Kari Lake is facing. And I'm sure part of the reason Rick Grinnell was with her in AZ during the selection. Yes, Donna's got a new phone. They're tricky now. You got to learn to work with it, Donna. I'm sure you can do it. You can do it. So anyway, it's going to be very interesting. We've got to be able to talk rationally about it. If somebody came up to me and they didn't have any idea what was going on, but they were starting to wake up and say, gee, I feel, kind of foolish that I went and got so many, punches in the arm, and they wanted to talk to me about how things are going. I wouldn't say, well, we got dandelion drones coming from outer space that they're going to be spying on us. No, I'm not going down that road. I'd say, I know. Did you hear about what happened with Kari Lake's daughter? The testimony was given to the legislature by the forensic analyst who looked at deeds and mortgages. They're all fake. They've been laundering billions. Is that why they're saying Israel's responsible for that money? Not, I don't know. Did those banks have anything to do with those mortgages that were fake and phony, and property deeds for property that didn't even exist? A lot of them. So, hi, Lone Wolf. How you doing? Hi, Ingrid. So, anyway, yeah, I got to figure out how to. I think, if y'all would do it, I could post a link to a video maybe on Bumble, but I can't do it here. But it's where they just get up and testify. There were a number of attempts on different people to keep the Arizona situation. And you got to think, if they're dealing with the cartels, they got plenty of professional people that know how to do things to cars. They know how to make people have accidents. So, and they sure in the heck know how to threaten. Now, how about, did you all see what happened with Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA? No, I can't post it on my community page, Nikki. I guarantee you that link would get me kicked out of here. A link to that testimony about the stuff. I can't even say the words. What they did to JFK. So I can get some clips of it and make a short video and put it up somewhere else and tell you all how to get to it. I don't know. Charlie Kirk, the dean of that whatever college he was at, I forget what his name was. You do it all the time, bro. Platform. It's the content, Nikki. It's the content. It's kind of, and I post, multiple times a week, and it's a scrutiny issue. Well, before I get down to Charlie Kirk, I think he should sue. But the other thing that there's confetti they're throwing up in the air. The confetti they're throwing up in the air is I'm sorry, Nick. I can't. Yeah, I could put it on Rumble, Bubba. But I get 25 views at the most. I mean, it's a waste of time. It's really not. Trust me. There was public hearings that you're going to be hearing about where all the things I discussed earlier in this video will be disclosed. I don't know if it's going to take a week. I don't know if it's take a month. But if I put stuff up like that or refer to it in this platform and then I'm gone, I'm not going to sit on Rumble for 9 people. I'm not going to do it. I've been talking about, and I can't even say RUMBL. I'm supposed to say Bumble. Viva Frey got taken down for mentioning that. But anyway, I've been saying for a year where I'm at on there, and I get 8 views, 13 views, blah blah. I even put them on Truth Social, and I might get 20 views. So I'm not going to fool around that. Spend more money to live stream. I might do a video. Linda's on R. There you go, Linda. That's how you do it. You're on R. I can't read that. So anyway, where was I at? Oh, distractions. Biden coming out with these. Biden takes massive action against the Second Amendment with a new executive order. President Joe Biden on Tuesday issued an executive order that would bring America as close to universal background checks as possible without additional legislation. So they push it. The name of the channel is Mountain Man Speaks, all one word, Canadian Patriot. How you doing? Mountain Man Speaks. And I upload everything from here on an auto upload. And if I had, some worthwhile where you'd have viewers, I would pay to do live streams over there. And I don't know what kind of technical issues I'd be running into, or I'd give it a try, but I'm certainly not going to do it for spotty, anywhere from 3 to 25 views per video. And I've got over 300 videos on there. So it's not what happened to Charlie Kirk. Anyway, Donna, I'm gonna get to that. The distractions I was talking about was the UFO thing, and also this the banks, and that's nothing but bank robbery. What we're seeing, that's not a systemic problem. That's where they're laundering and shuffling money around and causing the banks to fail, and getting the feds to print more money to give them more liquidity, and we're the ones paid for it at the end. But also the other distraction is Biden doing this Second Amendment business, where he's going to push it to the limit. It'll be found unconstitutional, but how many people are going to get in trouble or get arrested on that long road to the courthouse to prove that Biden's overstepping his bounds? So those distractions, we got to be concerned about it, but we can't take focus off of what's happening with Dr. Fauci, what's happening in Arizona, all these things that are showing and exposing criminality, and they start flapping arms and saying, "Don't look at that. Look here, I'm going to take your guns." No, wait a minute, old man. We're going to find out about your 6 or 7 family members. We're going to find out about these fake deeds and these fake mortgages, and we're tired of people threatening family members of who we want to elect, or any good people. We don't want people like that in our country. And as far as Trump's concerned, he doesn't want them walking the earth anymore. So anyway, Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk, he was going to give a discussion at this college. I'll see in my studio if I have the name of college. It's some liberal thing. Well, they come right out saying that he was a WHITE supremacist, okay, and that he here we go. Sacramento's paper of record, the Sacramento Bee, apologizes and retracts a lie written by its opinion assistant director, Hannah Holzer, saying that fascist Charlie Kirk called for the LYNCHings of trans people. The claim, which was amplified to millions on Twitter. I got to make sure I still got my broadcast running. Hi, Bobcat. by trans activist Aaron Reed helped incite Antifizzle to carry out an attack on the campus to try to shut down Kirk's speaking events. So they broke windows, they attacked people. The dean of the school gave a speech before Charlie Kirk and Turning Point USA people showed up and said that he was guilty of fomenting the most vile and hateful speech and that he was a clear and present danger. So the dean himself was inciting people to attack the members of Turning Point USA. You've seen a lot of their memes. A lot of you have seen Charlie Kirk do some of his presentations on social media. And thank goodness nobody got hurt, but there were windows broken. All it takes is one kook. All it takes is one kook. So I'm hoping that Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point USA will do a Nick Sandmann with everybody involved. The reporter, that social media person that I mentioned, and that school, and that dean. Drag them all in there and sue them Sandman style. That's right, Ian. How you doing, Ian? They try and shut you down and call you that word F with a one for I next time. Yeah, I heard about Chip Roy. That's a game, Bubba. Believe me, that's a game. That's a game. I'll get into that later. But yeah, it's all right. We're going right. We're going to keep the party together. That's why they make something other than vanilla ice cream. But we all like ice cream. I scream, you scream. We all scream for ice cream. So anyway, yeah, Jax, the reparations, that started out at $250,000, and did a video on that where I was discussing California wasn't even a slave state. It wasn't even a slave state. So you talk about kabuki theater. You talk about trying to provoke problems with raising expectations for people that they're going to get $5 million, plus they're going to have all their debts forgiven, and they're going to be able to buy a house in San Francisco for $1. That is the proposal from my understanding. You get $5 million, all your debts get wiped out, and you can pick a house in San Francisco for $1. So this board, this bunch, passed that, and anybody who believes that it is ever going to happen is really delusional. Very delusional. How are you doing, Lone Wolf? Patriot Starfighter, how are you doing? But anyway, that is just they are looking to polarize and buy votes and create conflict. Let me see. Yeah, hit the like, Steve said. How you doing, Steve? Oh, by the way, this is a viewer-supported and creator-supported channel only. I don't get any support from any source other than my viewers, and I appreciate everybody who's given to the site. And I got to add Lone Wolf on this list you see up on the board. I've got to put Mary on there, or did I put Mary? And Pamela helped me out last week, and Sin helped me out. And I also got to thank Aaron, Robin, Kristen, Wanda, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Nikki B, Camperman. He came through for me big time. Mac, Candace Cleaning, Killer Fuzz, somebody one, somebody two. Everybody, I thank you so much for your help. And I got a link in the description. Anybody wants to help channel out. But Sadie's got her stitches out yesterday. I mentioned that briefly at the beginning of the broadcast. She got her stitches out yesterday, and she can go outside and play as long as I have a bag of chicken that I can coax her back on the porch with if she tries to wander too far off. So she's still got to wear that cone on her head for another 4 or 5 days, I guesstimate, and then she'll be free. So anyway, I just thought I'd give you all that update. Now, I'm so happy that she wants to go out and play. Compared to the first week she was injured, she was a pitiful little thing. But she's almost 100%. And I thank you all for thinking about her and for helping out with everything. I thank you very much. And I got to put Tennessee on that list too, don't I, Tennessee? Are you in there? Did I see Tennessee tonight? I haven't seen him tonight. Well, he must be busy. But anyway, I thank Tennessee too. So, and Lone Wolf's here. All right. So anyway, poor Sadie, that's right. She's better. She's sleeping right now. She ate like a hog. Because she's on to me. She'll leave the porch, so I'll shake the bag of chicken, so she'll come back and get some chicken. Then she'll go leave again. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is they're crafty now. She's crafty. At least I think that's what she's doing, taking advantage of my good nature. But anyway, oh my gosh, Andy No. I've talked about him before, and you can see this activist, Aaron Reed. Okay, you can pull this up on YouTube. Andy is his first name, NGO. Andy No. And you go to his community page, and he will have a picture of this Aaron Reed that says they are female. So you just got to see the picture for yourself. But they posted on Twitter, Charlie Kirk, CEO of Turning Point USA, is openly calling for the LYNCHing of transgender individuals, says that trans people should be dealt with like men did in the 50s and 60s. So they have retracted that and apologized. But as I said, you got to see this. And where do you draw the line? I mean, when do people make a stand? And I made a note here of something I wanted to discuss, because most of the people who come to this program pay attention to other channels, and there's no denying that there is interaction. And let's just say, thank goodness not my channel, but there's sometimes drama with other channels, right? Nikki will tell you that. I can tell you that. I watch it. Sometimes I pay attention to the back and forth between people who create channels and see the, you see finger pointing. And hey, I want to say this. If certain people would take half the amount of time to do background checks on the people who are holding office in their local community, people who are on their school boards, people who are on their treasurer's office, people who are on code enforcement, because sometimes you'll see creators get mad at each other, and they root around, look for personal information. They fuss back and forth at each other. And I guess it's entertaining to some degree. But if people would put half that amount of energy, and if they're able to find out so much about people, why don't they check with the people who are running their life in their own community? it's always like, oh, the dog catcher just got locked up because he was doing this and doing that. And uh, we looked at his social media, and he had all this crazy stuff on there. Well, why is it after they do something, people check the principal of the school? I saw a situation, this was 10 years ago, where a principal, elementary school principal's Facebook that was open to anybody had the most disgusting, vile things on it. And nobody does anything or says anything till something bad happens. So if everybody can, I guess gossip, you call it gossip or backbite or whatever, with people they don't even know and have no impact on their life other than what happens on YouTube. Don't you think it's important to take just as much time to check out the people who run your life in your own community? So that's just a little word to the wise. Thank goodness nobody's tried to put me in any bad situation, and Nikki's always looked out for me, and Robin looks out for me too. And we don't, and I certainly don't look for any drama and problems with other channels. But we all know it's out there, and that's a good exercise for people. Find out everybody on the board of supervisor in your community. Take a look at their social media. Not to be hateful, not to find anything hurtful, but to find factual things, so you know who's running your life, so you know who's your community's children are exposed to. Find out. Your sheriff. Where do you go to school? You always see, oh, this happened with this local official. And then we went and looked at all his stuff, and look what we found. It's not like the stuff gets put up on the computer after they do something wrong. It's been up there the whole time, but nobody gets it until something bad happens. Hunter artwork, Phil R. said. No, I didn't order any Hunter artwork. So anyway, that's all I got to say. I know I got a little peanut channel. I don't deal with other creators, and they probably don't even know I exist. But if they do tune in, it's just a little word to the wise and a little something for everybody to think about too. We can be sleuths. We can find out. And it's not being nosy. It's a matter of knowing who you want to vote for in the future, if you want to continue to support the people that are there, or if you think there needs to be a change, or you think they behave in a way that could be harmful to your community. And if it's all open source, if it's all public knowledge, go for it. Go for it. Find out. Forewarned is forearmed, like my father used to say. And he also used to say, know thine enemy. Okay? So anyway, I'm up to my hour, folks, and I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me as we all walk through history together, these amazing times. I'm going to shoot for doing a live stream tomorrow, and we're going to talk about a lot of the big things that are happening, a lot of things that are being held right under people's noses that we never would have seen before if it hadn't been for this long march that we're all marching. Okay. So thank you again, folks. You all have a great night. And this is Mountain Man over and out.